Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Happy Monday and welcome to the fourth quarter. So, to me, this is actually the most exciting time of the year. And I don't know, there's something about everyone slowing down where we can all speed up that actually gets me really excited. It's kind of, I guess I would say, the competitor inside of me. So here's what I want to start the call off before we get into all of our fun tactics and actions. And I see Kate brought her emotional support dog to the call today. And so ultimately, this is what I want to tell you. That what you do in the next 3 months is the most important 3 months, essentially, of your life and will shape your entire year next year. And so there are 3 things that people generally say they want during a new year. I want to earn the most money I've ever earned. I'm going to get in the best shape of my life, and I'm going to be in momentum, and I'm going to be ready to have the best year ever. Do you know what the problem with that is? The shit that we all do between now and then is the complete opposite. Like, something weird happens after Halloween, and as this month goes, people just start checking out. Do you really follow your schedules every single day? Are we really disciplined in what we're doing? I don't think so. I'm going to get in the best shape of my life. All those holiday parties, drinks, our diets, our exercise go out the window. Number 3, oh man, I'm going to get everything done next year. Guess what? The last time I checked, you need momentum to get things done, correct? And are you in momentum when you're in inconsistent action? No. So what happens to most people is January starts. I always call this with the three wishes, right? I wish, I wish, I wish. And essentially you start with no closings or nothing on your board. You're probably eating and drinking and not exercising, so you might not feel as great as you were. And you haven't done shit really for the last month and a half from November and Thanksgiving. So now you're sitting there stuck and you're in your head. So I want everyone to write this down. Write down on a piece of paper and write this big and stick it in front of you. Write down fourth quarter magic. Fourth quarter magic. We're going to bring the magic to our lives. And I encourage you all to take a picture of what you write and tag us on it. And I'm going to share your goals on our social media as well. Now, how does the fourth quarter magic work? Number 1, this is us identifying what we're going to create for ourselves in the fourth quarter. So here's the first thing I want you to do. I want you to catalog all the days that you're going to take off today, not tomorrow, not another day. Do this now. Not right now, but pretty soon. What days are you taking off? Because what we know in all this, our work expands to the time we give or it contracts to the time we give. So if you know you have all these thoughts in your head or days essentially that you have off, you're going to get your work done in that time because you have something to look forward to, correct? Absolutely. The second part to all this is you have to be present to what you really want to create. Is it going to be a great routine? Is it going to be, I'm going to go to the gym 3 times a week? Is it that I'm only going to have one bad eating day a month, a week, whatever it is? What are you committing to the fourth quarter? Because this is the most important time of the year to reconnect with your clients. Every single one of you should do this, and we'll actually show you how to do this. Our Thanksgiving gratitude videos. You make 5 videos a day. There's a schedule send button. Every single person will respond to this. Because between Thanksgiving, the holidays, New Year's, you can get into momentum of speaking with your clients, and it's easy points to reach out to them. So what are you going to create for yourself in the fourth quarter? That is your fourth quarter magic. Look at it, obsess over it, see it every single day, and then ask yourself the simple question, is what I want to create reflected in my schedule? Correct? Okay, so now I'm going to do something which is kind of a little off of what we had planned, but hit yes if you as an agent at Compass, and I'm going to be the first one before I even answer this, is absolutely tired of the crap that The Real Deal and Inman keep writing about Compass and how they unobjectively only share half of the story. I don't know about you guys, but today, when they posted that video of Robert with blood and a dead unicorn and the guy Massa from SoftBank, this is disgusting. It truly is. For all of us that have worked here, that have met Robert, that met the people in this company, They're the most thoughtful and sincere people you could ever find in a business. I'm somebody who's both worked there as a client and someone, because of the relationships I have and the people of who they are, choose not to work anywhere else with any other people. So here's what I request everyone do. I'm tired of playing defense and I want to play offense, and it's through all of you we can do it. See, there's something here in America called the voice of the people, and it's something that you can't deny. So if all of you share this with your friends at Compass and all of us do this, in my opinion, this will have to stop within like the next month. If not, it'll never end. A PR person or no one's going to do this, but you can't deny the voice of thousands of people. So you should go on your Instagram story today and share your favorite experience at Compass or why you love being here. And then tag Compass, tag Inman, tag The Real Deal, and you should write underneath it, why don't you share this story, right? And if you have thousands of agents tagging and sharing and put the hashtag, this is Compass. But the big thing is, if you tag The Real Deal, you tag Inman, and you write, why don't you share this story? And there are thousands of agents doing this every single day. They'll have no choice but to stop or listen or create the other side. Because here's the reality of it. If you have 1,000 notifications in your Instagram and stuff every single day with the same thing, people have to pay attention to it. So I'm going to repost what I had written today. And I encourage all of you to go and share your favorite Compass stories and tell all your friends to do this. I'll be sharing this at my retreat presentation and everywhere I go, because honestly, there's a moral line to all of this. And we're going through one of the largest shifts we've ever had in our entire industry, right? From like low interest rates and no inventory to still tight inventory and the highest interest rates and the highest inflation we've had in decades. And a shift where consumers now have more information than agents than they ever had before. So as you look at these shifts, like that's what they should be talking about in an objective way that gets people excited, engaged, and elevates. Not this tabloid nonsense that just keeps putting down a good man. So that is my request of everyone. If I've ever added value into your life at any point, as a personal favor to me, please do this. Because to me, this is a moral boundary now. Like this is just too much. Like if you go on their place and you look at the post that they put up today, or they did it the other day, I just saw it on my newsfeed, it really crosses the line. Like, and there's some things in life that you just should not do, and you should operate in integrity. So that's my kind of rant on this, is we all play for the same team and it's time to play offense. See, and everyone will have a story about this. So please go on the offense. Please tell everyone you know to write why they love Compass and tag those 3 things, put that hashtag in and write share this story. So what we're going to start shifting into is, look, we've done a great job of providing you a lot of resources and tools, and clearly we make a lot of stuff and deliverables and give it to you. My next promise, as our team is obsessed about this, is how do we take everything we have and really show you how it works at Compass now, right? Because the platform's in a great place. So today we're going to start off, and Kate's going to talk about a great way to use collections. We're going to kind of go through this together. And then ultimately where we're going to end is ways that we could talk about our clients intelligently with a CMA. And then tomorrow we're going to marry the collection CMA process with the actual dialogues that you tell your clients and our own offer template, which works way better than any of these standard offer things that people have anywhere. Sound good to everybody? And I'm sorry for that 3 or 4 minute rant, but I think it's something that needs to be addressed. So if you feel I wasted your time, I'm apologizing in advance. All right, so let's get rocking and rolling. So can we add Kate, AKA Vanna White?
I'm up. I'm right here.
You're up. So ultimately, we're going to talk about what's going on with collections, right? Like a lot of the things that people really focus on is what to do, but not enough about how to do it. So Kate's going to go nice and slow today and walk us through how to use collections, a couple different ways to think about it, as well as ultimately landing on the CMA. So Vanna, please go ahead and share your screen.
Emphasis on nice and slow. Everybody slow me down if you need to.
Kate came out hot this morning with a couple.
I did. I was like, oh.
She gets excited.
Yeah. I do. I'm sorry. And is that like silly that the stuff gets me super pumped up, but it does. So, all right, let me share. I'm going to start out with just like a simple collection. I'm going to keep the chat up so I can answer this stuff as we go. Linda, thank you for your energy. Excitement is good. I agree. So, okay, I was using the example this morning. I'm using Stephanie and Michael. They're real clients. They're going into contract today. So I'm going to pretend like I'm starting them right up from the beginning. So I want to go through this because this came up this morning. I am viewing this in an MLS view. So if you guys go on to the magnifying glass over here, the search, and it doesn't look like this, it's probably because in your preferences up here in the top right corner, you probably have compass filters on. So if you do that, this is what it looks like. Both are fine. I want to make this very clear. Before the MLS view actually came out for me like 6 months ago, this is what I was using. So you can do this on either one. If it hasn't rolled out yet, it's still very possible to do here. I'm going to go back to HGAR, which is like my MLS. Put those filters in. They're looking up to 650. They want 3+ bedrooms. And I'm going to shop by school district for them because they want to be in, they don't need schools, whatever. And then I'm going to keep this the same. So I have 10 results. I'm going to view the listings. Are we good so far? Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay, great. Going to go into card view here. I just like to make sure that everything came out the way I wanted it to. I didn't click something incorrectly. Then I'm going to go up into save search. This seems to be like a pivotal moment for people because I was talking to somebody after this morning's call. If you just make a collection and you don't make basically a collection with a save search embedded into it, you're not going to get more, like it's not really going to create a search engine within your collection. So you won't have any new listings populated. So if you've ever seen that like one of your collections have just kind of gone stagnant and there's nothing else populating into it, it's probably because you didn't save it as a save search. So you're going to click on save search up here at the top, save as a collection for your clients. I'm going to put my mom in it, but it's really going to be somebody else's home hunt. Next biggest thing, if you guys haven't heard me talk about it already, is going to change the alert schedule to review listings and handpick. This is going to create a filter between when the listings are actually populated versus when they actually get shared to your client. Chirag, anything you want to add here?
The one thing about how you share it with your client and when you do it, just remember this. What we tell you to do is one way to do it. There's no right way, there's no wrong way, but the true essence of luxury is it's curated, it's thought of, it thinks ahead for you. And the one difference I'd be is like, I wouldn't do this for everybody. This is like your VIP clients. Like I have a defined reason to buy a home by a period of time with a negative consequence if I don't buy. You can't do this for everybody. And the other point that Kate always says is you have to know your client, right? Like if they're high touch and they get a wrong thing, they're going to freak out. Some people want to see everything. So we're going to go with the more curated luxury thing. And the one thing I want to touch upon is the views of the searches quickly, is they mirrored the MLSs and they're continuing to do it around the country. So if your region doesn't have it, it's fine, but it's just a different way to look at the filters. That's all that it is. Yep.
So if you select add to collection and then invite your client, it doesn't stay updated. From my experience, if I were to go here, so if you make a collection, you can make a collection like elsewhere. I think if you actually go into workspace or whatever this is, workspace, you can make a collection there and just add in specific houses, but it's not going to save a search and like kind of embed that within the collection. So it won't be fluid. It won't continue to populate new listings that match that criteria because you're really not setting up a criteria. So if you want to make a save search as a collection, you have to go and start up here at this search button, the magnifying glass. So, okay, so I'm going to go back, save the first one as a collection, put in Corinne, whatever you want to name it. Again, we're going with more of like the curated experience. So I'm going to do review and handpick, going to create the collection, and now it's created. So because we just did review and handpick, you're going to have this extra column or tab over here on the left called unshared. Want to talk a little bit about the viewing experience from you guys as agents versus what your client's going to see. So until you move any of these over like 71 Archer Avenue, until I move that into shared right up here, my client's not going to see it. So this is basically a great opportunity for you to go in, filter out anything that you don't want your client to see. So for instance, for whatever reason, because of my search criteria, this condominium or co-op, whatever, populated into here. I know they don't want that. I know they want a single family. So I'm going to trash that in here, and they never saw it. But if that had gone into shared, then I know I would have gotten a text really quickly. Kate, but we said we only wanted single family. Did you not listen to us? Blah, blah, blah. So this is why review and handpick is so important, because at the end of the day, it is artificial intelligence. So it's not going to know you or your client as best as you are. So you need to come in and kind of take control of what's going to be sent to your client. So I'm going to share in a few of them. I'm going to delete the rest of these. So now this is all that my client's seeing. They're just seeing the ones that I shared. Is that good so far?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me just move this really quickly. Because
Look, at the end of this, there are two things we're going to do for all of you today as she goes through this is, number one, we're going to post a place where you can ask questions, like in an actual form about collections, and Kate will proactively address those in her accountability session. And the other question we're going to ask you in the end is where's your gap in the Compass technology? Because we like to listen to you and understand where you're challenged so that we can make sure that all of your challenges get addressed in our training. So Kate, please continue.
yeah. So this is basically all I would do. Once they're in here, my client can see all of them. I'm going to be putting in all the comments, whatever I want to say on them. So this is it. This is the buyer collection. This is what we all know and love. Are we good here? Can I move on?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now let's say they wanted to pick 71 Archer. They actually ended up picking a different one. So let me just move the chat over. So I'm going to go back in. I'm going to create a different, now they want to make an offer. I'm going to make a different collection. Sorry.
So why are you making a different collection?
I am making a different collection to make a CMA for them to then go and make an offer. So instead of using the CMA tool, which I do love for my sellers, I personally have felt like it gives too much data to my clients, and it's actually come back to hurt me when I'm trying to make an offer, because they have specific data points that they're holding on to when they don't even really know, to be completely honest, what that data means. And then they use it against me. So they're like, but Kate, I know you're saying I should make this offer to be competitive, but look at this data point. This house went for 20% under. This house went for 10% under. So why am I now being asked to go 10% over? So what I have felt the collection does is, first of all, it's very user-friendly because they already know how to use it. Second of all, I'm controlling the narrative. So I'm able to kind of like point them in the right direction of where they should be making the offer. Not just the place I want to make it, because we're usually right about it, but actually kind of giving them the right information, as opposed to just giving them all these different data points that they don't really know what to do with.
So I'll just say this too, right? The other reason that you create a secondary collection is so this stuff is organized and you can have a focused conversation around a very specific set of homes. Remember, you don't want people to get confused.
Yeah. And I'll get asked sometimes, why don't you just put it in the same collection? Same exact thing. It's too much going on in there. A lot of us are not great at like cleaning up our collections. So that's another tip. Make sure you're in there. Most of us, I mean, I don't really have normally more than like at the most like 8 buyers at a time. So you should have time to go in there and clean it up, especially if you are trying to give them a very curated experience. But separating it off, you can just delete this collection after they're done making the offer if they don't want to be in it anymore, and it's done. But it is very helpful to just separate it. So if I'm going to pull comps for them right now, let's say they just picked a house, I'm going to do the same thing. Yeah, it's fine. I'll do the price, same exact thing. I'm going to add in the pending and the sold. Same thing right here. I'm going to view these listings. And then what I do for comps, because I mean, like for this one specifically, it's a very nuanced section of town. I'm going to draw a circle around it. And then that is going to pull like the right comps that I need. Let me go into list. So are we good there? I'm pulling comps. Yes. Okay. So now it obviously just trimmed it down to 16. So now I have some that closed. I have some that are still active, pending, all that good stuff. Same exact thing I just did. add them into it. This is really not going to be my mom. It'll be her thing. And then here I would just do 150 Clinton Street comparables. Create. Same exact thing. So now they have all their comps in here. I would go in and I'd say, like, okay, if this one, 31 Thompson is a great comp for them, I'd go in, I'd leave a comment. And Chirag, you talked about this earlier. Do you want to go into why it's helpful to leave like specific comments and show your market knowledge a little bit?
Yeah, because look, in the end of doing this is what people are paying you for. Everyone has access to data online. Remember what we say, every year that goes by, there's more things that a consumer has that previously an agent does. So a lot of us go on broker tour and we tour properties. And since there's such little inventory, we could actually see all the homes. So you could look at one of these houses and say, hey, even though this house sold for $560, it has a functional obsolescent layout, meaning that it's not functional, it's not normal, and that there's no bathroom on the main floor. You have to walk up 3 stairs and then 3 stairs, and it's like inside what looks like a family room or a guest room. So it's very strange. Keep that in mind when comparing the homes. These little details really show how well you know the market and ultimately what they're hiring you for. So the comments section is meant to engage conversation, to provide them an interpretation of the market and the comps, a way that the numbers might not necessarily tell them, and or interpret the numbers for them. So prior to meeting with you, they have a chance to look at the property, look at the information, look at what you shared, and it is a more intelligent, collaborative conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I think this goes back to like what Chirag has talked about a million times before, kind of like leading them to water. Like that's what I do in these collections. So I'm able to give them all this information. And then if they come back to me and let's say like, I mean, most of the ones I pick, let's say this one went like 1% over asking. Let's say I was asking them to go 2 or 3% over asking, and then they wanted to go 5 below asking. Then it's very easy to kind of show them like, I'm confused. So all the ones in the collection have went for 3% above, but you want to offer in less and you think you're going to get it kind of thing. It puts it right in front of them. So even they, depending on the client, might be like, oh, okay, I'm a little bit crazy right now. We also have a question from Jonathan. Yes, I do handpick. So I would go through these. I'm just, for the sake of time, I'm not going to go through and delete all the ones that don't apply, but out of the 16, at least it's narrowed down, you know, a good chunk. At least I'm not picking out of 100 of them. So I've narrowed it down with the criteria, with the map, with the bedrooms, with the price. And now I go in here and I'd probably pick like the 5 best ones. And then those are the ones that I'd leave comments on.
All right, I'm going to drop the link for the Compass collections right now in the link. So you could drop your questions here. And this way, we have an opportunity for Kate and then myself to go through these prior to our accountability session, which is when, Kate?
Wednesdays at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. And we usually hang out for like 45 minutes, but sometimes it's an hour. You never know on the day. So I'll talk about all this. So yeah, leave all your questions. I was saying earlier too, I think it's helpful if I can like kind of go in it in an FAQ kind of area. So I know where you guys want. I don't want to be repeating anything you already know, but I'd like to be doing this at like a higher level so that you guys can really understand how I use collections. There's more ways than just this as well that I'll get to, but I want to answer everybody's questions so we can all use them the way I am. All right, good. Any other specific questions I can answer for people?
We'll give everyone a second, Kate, just to fill this out. And while you're doing this, yes, it's every Wednesday, Lynn. Look, the other question is I'd expect 100 answers out of this. What are your challenges or gaps in using Compass technology? Like, where can we be more helpful? If I had blank, then I would use the tech every single day. If I knew how to talk to my clients about it, if I knew the specific ways to use it, or it's overwhelming of what to do with it, like, where do you get stuck, right? What are your challenges? Drop it in the chat so that we can actually look at these things and help you. This is the part about interactive, collaborative coaching. We're really working forward together, right? So, you know, drop a question. I mean, drop your questions on collections. drop your questions on the tech platform so we can understand and we can meet you where you are and provide you the answers you need. And listen, the best part about technology is it works at some capacity. If not, it wouldn't be rolled out. Our goal is to focus on where the opportunities are for us and how it will work in our business versus trying to find out what is not working or the challenges within it.
Chirag,
Mm-hmm.
this is Linda. I agree with you about looking for the technology works and supports us. And I work with the technology routinely. That was kind of my 2023 commitment to myself. I find, like, I did a CMA specifically, and it said price was $50,000 when there was no property in the entire CMA as low as, I mean, 350, as low as 350,000. And so now I've got to go back and go through and figure out where that is, or I have to send a collection and do it. But then I don't get the data showing the trends and things.
So look, here's a good example, right? Look, things are always going to be broken. That's the reality of any technology, any streaming service. Like, things are going to happen. So like, if you find your MLS has better data, like Martha's sharing, fine, that's true. However, when we do find comps, we can then put them in the presentation format of a collection and still use it that way. Right. It might not be your everyday search tool, but this is a very pivotal moment that I want to share with everybody. We always have a choice. And when I look at real estate agents, you could be stuck in the same place for years. And it's that same thinking, well, this is not working like this. And then you go back to some other older, more convoluted way. We need to learn on building what we have. And eventually the stuff catches up, right? If you've been here long enough, you know it continues to get better. Right.
And I completely agree. And I do have a technology background. I come from a healthcare IT background.
Oh, listen, so I'm not saying whether you have tech or you don't have tech, everyone has the same thinking process. Right. So, well, this doesn't work, I'm not going to use it. Well, this is not going to, well, okay, fine. Well, that part of it might not work, but let's think about if we can use it and how we can use it. Because in the end, one of the things that it does present is a better experience. So I'll leave you with 3 things I want you to focus on. Number 1, if you don't understand the client experience, do not ever send technology to a client, meaning set yourself up as a dummy client, see what the email's like, see what happens when you click the button, see what all the updates are, because if you don't know this, you cannot effectively communicate with your client. There'll be a disconnect in the conversation, right? Number 2, write down for each tool, how will this work for me? How? Not what, how? And number 3, understand that everything will continuously get better, right? And I love, Linda, you show up every day, sometimes twice a day. So you're very committed, and I know you have that mindset. So
if I can also say one more thing too.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people will ask me like, okay, I want your systems, I want your processes, I want all this. A lot of what like my systems and process, like why those work, it's not just because I have them, I use them. And in order to use them, sometimes I do get the notification when I log on to Compass, hey, we're down for the day, we'll be back up and running soon. That doesn't mean that like I go completely rogue and I don't stick to my process. I do what I can with it. So if like a certain part of it's down, like the IDX feed or whatever it is, okay, great, I'll wait. And then I'll do it in a little bit and I'll pacify my client to something else. So I think a big part of this is also like stick to whatever systems or processes you have. Don't allow these roadblocks to have you like divert all the time. Cause that's when I feel like we all feel like we have our businesses on 5 different apps, 10 different apps, a million different notebooks. Just stick to your process. And most of the time, if the tech is not working, it's for like 30 minutes. So don't let that like completely take you off the road of success.
Bingo. Now, tomorrow we're going to go through how do you really have these conversations with your clients, and then how do you use our offer template. Our offer templates are amazing. They work really well. Hundreds of agents use them around the country. And so now this is really that next part, right? How do we pair what goes on with the Compass tech to the best of stuff that we've created for you in like coaching and training? So As always, with love in my heart, I love you all. I appreciate you for being here. Don't forget 2 things, your fourth quarter magic and why this is so important. And please just take a few moments to make your contribution in supporting Robert and the rest of the people and sharing your friends about writing why you love Compass, tagging The Real Deal, tag Inman, put the hashtag, this is Compass, and write, please share this story, right? And if enough people do that, it will make a difference. So we're going to keep cranking away on putting all this stuff together. And I could not be more excited to share this with you. Everyone have a great day. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye.